Okay, here's another video about some piano technique ideas that I've been working on a little bit each day. Um, I think today I want to talk more about Chopin Etudes and specifically the double notes, for example, the double thirds etude. And related to that, I'll probably talk a little bit about Liszt for Follet, which I'm terrible at pronouncing. um, but you know the piece. So, um, let's see, where do I start? Again, I think some of these ideas are kind of controversial, and who knows, maybe they're not right, but they seem to be working for me. So with the thirds, and this kind of goes for almost everything I've been practicing. I've been doing a lot of slow work with no pedal and intense with the fingers. So I'm finding that it's a lot easier to go faster when I practice forte, really to the bottom of the keys, and holding things too. Like, for example, in my last lesson, I talked about Opus 10, number 2, not lesson, last video. Holding the thumb down as giving the hand sort of an anchor to bounce off. Not only do you lift and you can go that way, like a rotation, but that also gives these fingers an anchor to play off of, and it gives the hand the position that it needs in order to play these notes efficiently. If you don't at least try holding these down, it's going to be very floppy, and you might do like lots of extra wrist motion. I think if you actually stabilize the hand, there's not that much wrist motion. And you notice that the notes come out really clearly. I mean, yeah, it's actually really important to practice upper voice alone. I should do more of that. But lately I've been doing either like this exercise, where maybe I'll just do the second finger only. With high fingers. And pretty intense. You have to work your way up to that level of strength. You know, it took me like years, I would say, to really get to that point, you know, because you might think, oh, I'm going to get injured, but you have to build it very gradually. If you try to do that overnight, you probably will injure yourself. So that, also you can try holding just the second finger, maybe just for a little while, because that second finger, most people don't play it. They don't really play it. And I actually would say, make it your friend rather than that fearsome, second finger that most people fake. Use it to your advantage, to stabilize the hand. See how, like, on each chord, I lift and really feel like it's solid, 2 and 4. But really, I love the feeling of that thumb stabilizing the hand. Sorry. And it doesn't feel so hard then. I think actually not pushing down, but holding that thumb helps you to have the fourth finger up a little bit to hit the key. Because one of the problems I have is, like, obviously it's really hard So you play this chord, then you do the B flat. What do you do now? How do you lift the fourth finger to play the B? Right now, the Taubman people would say you're here, you rotate single, single, and then it's a double, right? Single, single, double, single. Now, I mean, that's fine. There is certainly truth. It's true. I mean, it definitely is right. But I also blend it with, like, sort of, I don't want to say good old-fashioned fingers, but I still turn the hand, see, to lift it, but I I do engage the finger a little bit. I'm not afraid to do that, and I'll talk about that with the double thirds in a second. So I'm saying that when you hold the thumb, it actually helps me at least, because my fourth finger doesn't like to go up, to give it some way to get it up so that the fourth finger plays. The biggest problem I have is that the fourth fingers don't speak when I go fast. Now that I think of it, that Taubman stuff, it really works. But you have to do it. Obviously you can't play like this, right? It's too big. You have to do just the right amount. But this is very strong. See, to do that single, 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 single. That really helps you to get speed too, because you don't feel like there's a speed barrier. But see, I still think there's a good reason to practice what Chopin originally wrote, where you're holding the notes. Anyway, okay, so that's the idea with that. How did I get on that topic? I don't remember. Oh yeah, so with the thirds, I always had a lot of trouble playing these because the fingers kind of get stuck in the keys, the fourth and fifth fingers. And I tried rotating, like where you just shake it with a little bit of in and out, in, out, in, out. So there's a little bit of in and out, and almost like a diagonal. You can try 4 too. Wait. With 4, I need a little bit more finger action. I lift curved. That's kind of the only way I've been able to get 4 to work. But 4-5 rather. So then here with 3-4, which is the fingering I've been trying to work on lately. I work on usually several different fingerings with the etudes. So I always have a couple different ideas, and I practice both of them. And I sort of go day to day different. I know that sounds crazy, but that's me. And I think a number of pianists did stuff like that. I remember once Zimmerman, in an interview, I think he said he has like 3 sets of fingerings. So anyway, okay, with the thirds, this might just be peculiar to me, my hands, but my 4th finger comes up a lot more easily when the 5th finger goes with it. So I've been trying to get the 5th finger up, actually, there, and that gives the fourth finger more definition. And I'm practicing slowly forte into the keys for strength. Then it's much easier to play softer. But yeah, I would highly recommend this kind of lifting the pinky to really get the independence. I do use a little bit of the in and out motion when I go fast. It's not perfect yet, I'm still working on it. And practice shaping it. Levine gets that amazing crescendo. When I do 3/5, which is probably my strongest, I actually am very aware of the 3/2 action. If you think of it as like this and then this going on at the same time. And make sure your pinky is actually working. Be careful that this joint doesn't collapse. That's one of my worst problems, is that collapsing. See, it's barely curved. I wish it was more curved, to be honest. You know, Trifonov, I remember seeing, he's got his fourth finger under the hand. I don't know how he does that. I actually was thinking maybe I should spend some time learning to do this. I know it might seem crazy, but there might be something to it, because I noticed Trifonov has an amazing ability with this piece, and his fourth finger actually goes under the hand when he's doing it. I can barely keep it there. Now, most people would say I'm crazy for trying and I should, forget that. That's him. But, I feel like most of the pianists on that level, they do things for a reason, and it might be worth trying. So anyway, that's 3/5. And it's a lot easier to make a shape, make it work when you shape it. If you start less soft pedal down. Make a little wave. That was 4/5. And always try to activate the fifth finger. That would be the goal, to have it working. Mine is still a work in progress, and it's kind of hard when I'm holding the phone. So anyway, then, so you do that. Now, there's different fingerings here. Some people do 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4, 3. I practice all of these. Some people do 4, 5, 4, 3. That was Chopin's fingering, I believe, which seems terrible at first, but I highly recommend working on it. It has benefits. Think about that, and then you lift 3/2. And you have to think about this coming over. You get into sort of a groove that way. Then that requires to come around to 5/2 before you start the scale. I knew a pianist who actually does this, because she plays this piece amazingly. 3-2. That's Juana Zayas, and she goes to 1-3. So she actually does non-legato 3-2-3, 1-3, and then starts the scale. So she goes 2-3, 1-3, and nobody hears. It's actually kind of a good idea, because this kind of sucks, when you're doing this and then you got to go 5-3, and then you do the scale. It's not very nice to do that. It's very difficult to do it in tempo, and you're thinking about the left hand too. The jump, there's a jump there. You got to voice the thumb, which I do. I practice this way. I know it looks ridiculous, but I lift thumb, I rotate, so I have more weight on that key. Basically straight thumb, open and close. And I'm trying to match the sound on each of those notes coming down the scale. Very important to do. I think Joseph Levine said it's a barcarolle for the left hand, and indeed that's what it is here, With some pedal to get that. You can also try bending the thumb a little bit to get a little more point. I also sometimes practice more legato. I switch fingers 4-5-2-3, 3-5-2-4, 4-5, switch to 2-3. So the double notes. Switch. I'm sorry. But that's Juana Zayas' fingering. Switch at the end. Ta, ta, da. I think it's a great exercise without pedal, but when it comes to playing it, I opt more for this technique. It's very singing, and it sounds legato, changing the pedal, change, or maybe you change on every note to clear so the right hand is clear. Now, talking about this scale, I've spent a lot more time over the years on Opus 10 number 2 than Opus 25 number 6, so I feel I'm not at as high a level with this piece as I would like to be. But I have various different things floating around in my head when I'm working on these scales. There's a couple different ideas. One was when I heard Long giving a master class back in literally 2008. It was a while ago. I was in college. And he said something very interesting. He said, concentrate on the upper voice, which, guess what? That's Opus 10 number 2 right there. Stable with the hand. Not much wrist motion. And you feel like the hand is almost being pulled up. Like you don't try to reach for anything. You're just kind of wiggling, very loose, and the hand is just sort of pulled up. And then these fingers, the 1 and the 2 with the sliding fingering, is just along for the ride. It's really the upper voice. That pulls it up. And then this is just sort of very light. Now, it's a nice idea. I think it works sometimes. None of these ideas seem to work all the time, as I was saying in my last video. As soon as you think, oh, I found the way, you lose it. Because it's really an equilibrium of many different things that have to be, I think, at the right mixture, like you have to have the right balance of different things in order to have perfect coordination. And I really do think it's a coordination problem rather than just pure strength or something like that. I'm thinking of like that interview with Simone Biles where she said like this move took her a year to learn. That's like the greatest of all time, and she's saying that it took her a year to learn a new move, which is the equivalent of like a new repertoire for her repertoire of gymnastics moves. And we're talking here about like some of the hardest pieces ever written for piano. This is like the Mount Everest, these Chopin Etudes. And honestly, like I should have done more Moszkowski Etudes, more Pishna, more Hummel, more Kramer Etudes and Clementi before I try to tackle these, but they're just so beautiful and addictive that I can't help but want to work on them all the time. But this is that kind of a level. Even if I'm not at the top of the world as a pianist trying to play these pieces, you're dealing with coordination at the highest level, very difficult things that can take a long time to assimilate. So another thing about this is you can actually take the opposite approach where you use the lower voice as the stability and as that propelling voice. So in this way of practicing, I actually feel like the lower voice is the leader and it's propelling the hand upwards. And obviously you're not going to be voicing the upper part as much when you do this. It might not be how I perform it, but there is definitely a use for it. The next question is the slide. How much to do? Do you actually want to do like a real, like while this plays normal, is this really going to be a slide, or is it going to be more like, just a two notes portamento kind of thing? So let me see if I go fast. Sorry. I'm playing it sort of detached right now, and it's not totally a slide. It's more of like not so legato. I can do it legato too. Sorry, the phone, the angle. But I have to tell you that the main feeling when it goes right for me is that I'm not trying to move to the right. I'm actually trying to stay on top of what I'm doing. And I'm just wiggling my fingers, basically. And the hand sort of inches its way up the keyboard on its own. All I'm trying to do is keep the motor going. It's like if you look closely, there's like a circular feeling. It's like a spiral. Maybe it's in how the third finger comes around. But it's strange. You have to actually do some counterintuitive things. There's a feeling of going this way, which gives the hand more security. If you're trying to go this way all the time, you will feel in a position of weakness. See, it just doesn't feel good. If you stay back, just feel like you're holding back in a way. It gives you something to kind of grab onto, and I like that feeling. It feels strong. It feels, like I have a grip on that position, and it's something to play off of. So I actually sort of invert the hand, not invert, I sort of angle it either a little bit this way or a little bit this way. You have to experiment with both. So this starts to get the fingers up a little bit, easier to play, to have some momentum into the keys. And again, there's that feeling of the fingers sort of flipping over themselves. This is going to sound strange, but I always want 5 to feel mobile. Even though 5 isn't really playing except here and here, I always want it to feel like it's activated and participating in the motion of the 4th finger. I don't want to be moving 4th finger isolated. I want the 5th finger to be always participating. Okay, now a couple other things. If you watched my last video, I was talking about these very strange esoteric ideas that depending on how I look at my hands, I have a different feeling. Depending on where my head is positioned, depending on how I'm sitting, basically, there's a different experience of this scale. So for example, if I'm sitting right in front, not looking at my hand from this angle, not looking at it from this angle, I'm just kind of straight on top, dropping my hand on my side. There's a slight angle to the right, and I feel my elbow in, just very comfortable, just sort of hanging, sitting tall, and there should be a feeling that you're just kind of rippling the keys. And you can see there's a little bit of rotation, just wiggling very light. Sorry. Can't get a perfect one though. There. So that's one way. And I feel like sometimes like the finished product is gonna feel different than like the progression of practicing into it. Like I wouldn't practice so much that way. I would practice with much more intensity and really try to get perfect position on each one, and even do an honest slide. See, like right there, you need to bring thumb under, and I would try to be really honest about that. Then when you do it faster, a little bit faster, it feels solid. Okay, so anyway, I was saying this way of kind of looking at the hand, I feel like I'm aware of this feeling, and I'm just trying to think of all the fingers moving up and down, and a little bit angled this way. I'm thinking about the curve. How do I explain? Kind of hard to put into words, but I'm sort of following the shape. I see the fingers moving. They don't all play at the same level of the keys. There's a feeling like I'm squeezing something, and the wrist is staying pretty still. I would really practice this. I know it sounds controversial, with not a stiff wrist, but a non-moving wrist. And so that you feel you're just squeezing it out with the fingers. Not that it's working hard, it should be easy, but that the wrist is not flopping all over the place. And the 5th finger stays free. One problem I have, sometimes 5th finger wants to come under the hand. Sorry. That was what I was talking about. So yeah, a lot of the time for me, the solution is actually to think everything still except fingers. You do the work with the fingers. Try to keep the wrist from shaking at all. And it sort of feels like you're squeezing with the fingertips. And don't try to move to the right. Play underneath try to stay where you are. Play where you are, just move the fingers, and the hand will gradually move up. My hand's been holding the phone for like half an hour. But you can do it as a break with the left hand. Mirror image starting here. Okay, and now a very weird one. Try sitting here, looking at your hand this way, this angle. It gives a new perspective. I think that what's going on, I've thought about this a lot, is that I'm actually, just got a message. I'm actually leaning more on the left side. So that mobilizes the third, fourth, and fifth fingers. Because I know, why do they feel freer in this position? Probably because, I'm angled this way. So in this position, you can really concentrate on this slide and the strength of the lower voice. You almost feel like the lower voice is pushing the hand up, the second finger. And I try to be very active with the 3, 4, 5. See how the fingers are very active. The second finger, maybe you can try to curve more. You could also try dotted rhythms. I'm sort of attracted to the idea of dotted rhythms, but I rarely have the discipline to do them all. And I find that it becomes tiresome, it's anti-musical, and it's sort of mindless. Like, I find that this kind of work that I'm talking about is very mindful. It's kinesiology. I'm thinking about how my body feels. I'm observing the anatomy. And I'm trying to notice new moves, like in a chess game. There's always a new move, and every day you can discover a new aspect because it's so complex and there's so many variables to play with. You can try different orientations. You can try putting your elbow out, playing it with the elbow out, and all of a sudden it completely transforms the experience. From being this way, where you feel like you're sort of pushing from behind, and then there's this way where you have the elbow out, sort of like playing a scale with this tilt that people talk about to get the thumb under, instead of doing this, my Russian teacher said you tilt your hand slightly, and you keep it at the same angle as much as you can the whole way up, the elbow slightly out, and that completely changes the experience of playing the chromatic third scale. See, now it's like it feels like I'm playing a single note scale here, getting the thumb under. Sorry. I'm not sure I would play that way, but it's certainly interesting. And another way is to feel like you're focusing mostly on this, keeping the third finger very, very curved, and just feel the fingers moving up and down, not reaching for anything, and then the just wiggling and light on the lower voice. degrading a little bit because I've been doing it so many times. So that's the idea there. When you get to the scale, there are a couple fingerings. One that I tend to like is to just do 2-4-3-1, 2-4-3-1, 2-4-3-1 for the first three. Right? That has a nice way of, I don't do this, but I come around. See, around the thumb. That creates the feeling, like I said, even though you're going down, you're thinking about this. The hand's a little bit angled that way. It's not this way, it's more the opposite. I'm thinking about coming from that angle. That makes the notes really jump out. Even here, I don't go that way. It's big for me, is to come this way, not that way. Okay? So it's... So there should be a feeling, almost a contrary feeling, like a equal and opposite kind of thing of that way, plus going down. I think you can see it if you look closely. And as I get down, I start to bring my elbow in a little bit. So if this starts out more this way, and then maybe I get a little bit more that way. So it's... because then you're going to be at this angle. Now here I do 3-4-3-5. So it's 5-4-5-4, 5-4-5-4, 3-5-4. No, I'm sorry, 3-5-4-5. 3-5-4-5-4, 3-4-3. And look here, the orientation of the hand, and then it goes that way. I'm really interested in angles for comfort. So this way, I'm not going to play that way. It's better for me to do, I have more mobility of the 4 and the 3. Okay, and then practice the jump. Dee-da-dum, dee-da-dee-da. Another fingering you can do is this. You could do 3-5-2-4-3-1, 3-5-2-4-3-1, 3-5-2-4-3-1, 3 times. One of my teachers said that this was Levine's fingering. This one. Again, I wouldn't do this. I'm here and I just glide. I glide onto it. So here, there's a feeling of like you pivot on the thumb. So here's the different position. 3-5-2-4-3-1, 1-2. Finish with those 3-5-2-4-3-1. So it's 3-3-2-1, 3-2-1, 3-2-1, 3-2-1, 3-2-1, 3-2-1, 1, 3-2. It's probably the fingering to go with. But definitely pivot around the thumb. Don't go this way. Go the other way, this way. You see the difference. Don't try to do... I know it seems intuitive to want to cross over there, but for me it does not work. You want to come that way. See? Keeping the alignment of the hand. This, now you're totally off, right? This, you flip right onto it. So here, flip onto it, and again, as I come down, it probably angles a little bit with the elbow in, too. This is, for some reason, always difficult for me. Again, I want to feel almost like I'm skating on the keys. Just the fingers moving. Really feeling the pressure on the upper voice more. and this feeling of tumbling over the fifth finger, the third finger coming around. Like there's a motor almost in these fingers. Dee-da. It should feel like you're kind of squeezing them out. The wrist is not, maybe that's not the right word. It sounds bad, like tension, you know. But there is, I think there has to be some muscular tension in the fingertips is where it is. Not in the wrist, not, maybe there's a little bit in the forearm, just the right amount. Alright, so that's that. This one, I'm a little torn to do fourth finger on the E flat, fourth finger on the B flat, 5 on everything else. 4, 3, 5, 5, 4, 5, 5, 4, 5. That's one option. Or you could start with 5, 4, and then just do 3, 3, 5 all the way down. This seems to actually be more what I like. Then this one, Juana Zayas gave me this fingering. 3, 5, 4, 5, 4, 5, 3, 5, 4, 5, 3, 4, 4. So 4 on the white keys, 3 on the black. This takes a long time to assimilate. I'm still not quite sure. But it certainly has an advantage that, like, the main problem is getting these. A lot of the time, you get like this kind of stuff where the notes aren't together. And you really want it to be like da, da, double notes all together, very crisp, right? And that's hard. It's hard to achieve when you're doing 3, because you're twisting the hand. So 4 definitely helps separate the 2 more rotationally, so that these lower ones don't get rolled. You don't want to roll those. You want them to be solid. So I might go with 4. 3, 5, 3. Those I go to 3, 5, 7. But I don't know, this doesn't feel very strong, even though it's clear. So 4, 3, 3, 3. I might try again Juana's fingering to get used to it. It can hurt to practice. 3, 4, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4, 4, 3, 3, 3. There is a pattern to it. It's just 3 on the black keys, 4 on everything else. 3, 4, 3, 4, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4. Okay, this one, really, I would recommend working on the third note of the group. This one, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, what am I doing? A lot of people end up doing almost like this, where the third finger is not working. You know, it's very easy to slide into that. I try to be very honest, high fingers, but don't try to do this. You just go to the next group. I tend to turn the hand in a little bit. Ultimately, I do group it da 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 da, but you can practice this way. Dee da da da, dee da da da, dee da da da, dee da da da, to give it a little bit of a different angle feeling. Or da dee da da, 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 da dee. That gives a different perspective, and there's definitely value to that. Dee da da, dee da da, da da da. This is where people tend to mess up. 2, 3, 1. It's a 2, 1, 2. 2, 1, 2. 2, 1, 2. So I try to keep the angle going slightly to the right. 2, 1, 2. 2, 1, 2. 2, 1, 2. Not that. Da dee da da, da dee da da, da dee da da, da dee da da. And then practice the lead. Dee da 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 da. Dee da 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 da, da dee da da da. da dee da 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 dee da 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 dee. See, this one, when you're on 1-3, you have to lift 2-4 or rotate onto it, let go of third finger, rotate onto 2-4. You can do this. Let go of 3, rotate. Let go of 3, rotate. Rotate. That's actually a good exercise I just thought of. So lift, drop, 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 drop. Because that one tends to not speak. You know, people tend to do, then they don't play third finger. And they just sort of fake it. It's mush, you know. So you really want to, I would even practice the upper voice only. Okay? The same thing with the scale. Don't go this way. You just flip onto it. Keep one angle the whole time. One angle this way. Feel like the fingers are just going down, down, down. Down, 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 down. Not doing so much with the wrist. Also practice upper voice. 3-5-4-3, 5-4-3, 5. Try to do it as legato as possible. And then you can do the upper voice to get the thumb. The thumb as invisible as possible in terms of the separation. I think about this is sort of like the anchor, the pivot point. See, to bring 5 around seamlessly. Pivot. On the thumbs, the D, the hand sort of compresses and comes over. Alright, yeah, my hand's kind of tired, so I'll probably just stop there. And I'll do Fafole in a different video. It's a lot of the same ideas, though. But Fafole is very involved. Stressing the lower voice helps give it some stability, something to bounce off of to get the repeated note. Second finger. You know, again, most people, they sort of fake the lower voice, right? They some people even do, they don't even play the C. But I'm saying use those things to your advantage. You're being, not only are you really nailing it as it is, like very honest, no nonsense technique, but the way it's written, actually there is a way to do it, and a way to use it to your advantage. So that's what I'm exploring now. Hope this was helpful, and please like and subscribe if this is helpful to you. Thanks.